All right, so the other day I was coming home from the farm and the truck died in the middle of the road. What had happened was the fuel tank was down to like 1/8 of a tank, which I never let it get that low, but I was in a hurry, so I was breaking my own rules. But I came around a corner off the interstate, and when I got to a light, the truck died, or was dying. It had shut off. I was still rolling, so I threw it in neutral and coasted off of the main drag there onto a side road, where I figured I would have some time to figure out what's going on. What I discovered was the lift pump. I have a fast titanium on the truck. It wasn't functioning. And what happened was, with the low fuel tank, the CP3 on these trucks, the Cummins, will continue to feed the engine as long as it maintains a prime. It won't pull its own prime out of the tank. Maybe it will. I'm telling you, with the 1/8 of a tank I had, what I figure is the fuel sloshing to one side or the other, coming off the exit, broke the suction on the pickup, and it wouldn't reprime itself. I cranked on it for a little while, and before I didn't want to kill my battery on the side of the road, because I figured I could probably figure out how to get it started, and I didn't want to have to then deal with a dead battery. So what I figured I needed to do was get that, assuming the motor on the pump still worked for the lift pump. I usually carry a spare 12-volt battery in the back of this truck just for around the farm. If something needs jump started, or, to run some of my water pumps around there, they're 12 volts. So I usually carry a charged up 12-volt battery in the back here. So I grabbed that, and then I have some extra wire on my transfer tank. I've yet to wire this thing in. So I just grabbed myself about 2 feet of wire off of this and put my 12-volt battery here, and then did a jumper wire down to the wiring harness here. I cut it so that I could just twist and tape to insulate off that 12-volt, and the pump worked. So that told me there was something wrong with my wiring, but that was for me to figure out later. Dear. Because I had an oil spill. Those rocks suck up oil.
Okay. So remember what I said. There's going to be ready in 10 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. So I left that battery running the pump on the bed of the truck long enough to reprime the pump and get the CP3. Well, long enough to get the CP3 reprimed. And then the engine started right up. I left it in neutral, parking brake engaged, ran to the back of the truck, and then disconnected the 12-volt battery and the jumper leads and everything, and just left the lift pump disconnected, not running. So like I said, actually before that, I used my transfer tank on the back to pump half a tank of fuel, so like 15 gallons, into the truck. So when I did get started again, I didn't have to worry about low fuel. Once I got the truck started, after repriming the CP3, I tore everything down on the bed, threw it in the truck, and then I was able to make it home. I haven't touched it in a couple days just because I've been too busy with work, but I got thinking about it, and the way this works is it comes off of the truck battery to this relay right here, which I never actually secured in place. It just kind of hangs out. But you have your positive and negative coming off the battery to this relay, and then it goes back to the pump. And what triggers this relay is a wire off of the wiring harness back at the tank, which would essentially tell the truck fuel pump to turn on. So when you turn the key on the truck, or you bump the starter, your truck fuel pump would have turned on, the in-tank one. So that tells this relay to turn on your FAS, or whatever aftermarket lift pump you're going to be using. So check the fuse first. Fuse was good, which led me to most likely the relay. So I just grabbed another relay out of the house, and sure enough, it was a relay. So everything functions great. That was just a little story of getting stranded on the side of the road for a couple minutes, and then just working through the issues and kind of figuring out how to get home. But now what I'm going to do is throw a couple more of these relays. I got a 30 amp in here right now. I think the stock one was a 30 amp as well. So we're just gonna grab a couple of these out of the garage and throw them in the glove box just to make sure we have an extra one on hand. I need to crimp these wires still. But you can see she's working again. Unfortunately, my good crimpers are out at the farm with most of my other tools. Yeah, that'll work for now. We'll throw some tape on there. That's fixed for now.